Okay, guys, so I wanted to show you my soldering station. I'm about to show you guys a whole bunch of soldering stuff that you need to do. And I'm going to teach you how to solder. It's not that hard, but it is doable relatively easily. That is my tip. All I've done is heated it right up, put a whole bunch of solder on it, taken a damp rag, and then done this, guys. Okay? Now, my stand is actually solid enough. If I set it down correctly, I can just do it. And that worked out perfectly. In addition to that, I have glue gunned these in place. This is a rubber mount that I've cut a corner out of. Okay? Not a quarter, a corner. You see what I mean? So it's triangular, so it fits my triangular soldering iron. And then this is the cheap, crappy stand that it came with that I hated. And what I've done is I've glue gunned these to a banana hanging stand, which is perfect. Then you'll need clamps. So I've got this big honking clamp here. And it had, I can't remember, I think a fan on it. This turns independently, but I can also turn the clamp itself, so it gives me a lot of fine tuning. Then I have another clamp on the end. This one was actually designed to hold a cell phone, guys. And it's got the little rubber pad, okay? And it works awesome. But originally the cell phone mount was on this end and it broke. So I just jimmied it. This part latched onto a table, so that's now one mount. And then I put a bolt in the opposite side of this so I can use it to screw in a second mount. And then these three holes, I can each mount a rubber rod in and use those as another mount each. So that gives me, off one soldering mount, I get a potential of 5 mounts that I can hold my materials with. It keeps them all right in my sight and in good lighting. Keeps them at a height where I can just sit down on my bed and do it. Also, this keeps the tip off the wood at a really nice height where you can see it's a couple inches off. That's a really good setup. In addition, it's so solid, guys. I can pick this up, move it all around, and you can see there's a potential if you're not careful. But as long as you're careful, guys, and you're not banging it all over the place, you will not have any problems with this, guys. It's a really sweet setup. And so I wanted to recommend it. And it's such a cheap thing to do to make a good soldering setup, you guys. And it's so worthwhile. This 10 minutes of work to make this setup makes my soldering job so nice now. I did my first soldering job with it today. I'll be showing the video on that next. And I just wanted to show you guys before we start getting into soldering to make your e-bike. Because you're going to need to make your own battery packs. That means you're going to need to take this stuff and spot weld it on, because the type of batteries I'm recommending you use are lithium-ion 18650 cells, like these guys, and there are tons of them out there, guys. There's tons of them available for you guys, and you can get hold of these really easily, and you can reclaim them from old e-bikes. You can get them all kinds of places, guys, and they're really inexpensive now. They're also really powerful. That being said, you're going to need to do some soldering. In addition to that, when you do the wiring, in addition to that, hey, it's a silver solder setup. You need to be able to solder. But it's really easy to do. I used to have a lot of trouble with soldering, and nowadays I'm finding it very, very easy. So, a couple things to cover. The screw that was in here was really cheap, and after 3 or 4 times of using the soldering gun, it broke. Guys, I have a really big screw kit, tons of screws, and so I just stuck another screw in that was the same thread count. It's much more solid now. It was a little loose. I went to tighten it, and it broke. So, that's my soldering setup. A few quick soldering tips, and that's the end of this one, guys. Keith out. I will see you soon.